Good evening and a warm welcome to all you lovely viewers on Facebook and my YouTube channel, Dr. Suhani Mendonça. I
It
am
is
Dr. Mendonça, yes, and welcome to my show, Tete at Suvi's Power Meet. Hello, and we have the most amazing Dr. Cyres Mehta with us here today. So let's give him a big round of applause and welcome him. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you for being with us and thank you for coming on my show, Tete at Suvi's Power Meet.
Hi, Swani. Is this going to be like Karan Johar show?
You're going to have, if it's going to be something like that, then for me, I don't have coffee, no, I have tea. I only have hot water. So hot water with Dr. Swani.
I have chai here.
That's true. It's fine too.
Yeah.
Wow. So way to go. Uh, I'd like to introduce Dr. Mehta to all you lovely viewers. Dr. Cyres Mehta is the most reputed cataract, refractive, and glaucoma surgeon from Mumbai. 25,000 surgeries in 18 years. Yes, that's what he's done. He's trained in at the Arvind Eye Institute, Madurai, amongst the other centers of excellence. He's trained with the pioneer of laser cataract surgery, Professor Howard Fine in the USA, and is the first Indian fellow of the American Society of Cataract and Refractive Surgeons. Dr. Cyres is the first Indian editor of Eurotimes, the magazine of the European Society of Cataract and Refractive Surgery, the most widely read eye magazine in the world, as well as the editor of the Indian Journal of the Cataract and Refractive Surgery. He's a great believer in new technology and uses femto laser robotic cataract surgery and relaxed smile to enhance his results. He is the pioneer of non-penetrating glaucoma surgery and canaloplasty in India. He has written, contributed to, co-edited more than 50 textbooks of ophthalmology. He has performed live surgery all over India, demonstrating his techniques. In addition, he's a two-time graduate of the California Superbike School of Motorcycle Racing. He's been awarded the All India Ophthalmological Society thrice, 2018, 2019, 2020. Wow. As international hero of the Indian ophthalmology. Indian Intraocular Implant Society has awarded him their golden medal twice. He has been awarded by the Governor of Maharashtra 3 times. He has been awarded the gold medal of the Intraocular Implant Society of India in 2005 and 2019. He has recently been awarded by Società Oftalmologica Italiana with their international medal lecture in Rome in December 2018. Woof. Well, just to let you people know, this is the shortest ever CV Dr. Cyres must have seen or heard, because his actual CV is 70 pages. So that's Dr. Cyres for us here with us today. Thank you so much once again for being here on my talk show, Tete at Suvi's Power Meet. So it's really great, to know so many things about you. There are so many firsts that you have done, and there are so many things that you've done. I don't know where you get the time from, doctor, but you manage it all very, very well. So without much ado, maybe start our tete-a-tete and maybe start a conversation, doctor. Yeah. Okay, great. So firstly, I'd really like to ask you that, your journey right? I mean, 18 years as a surgeon,
Yeah.
25,000 surgeries. I mean, that's a lot. Tell us more about
So I always wanted to be an eye doctor. So
it.
my dad's a
Okay,
very famous eye surgeon. So I decided, I'm going to do the same thing because I like the whole idea of eye surgery, which was not a big bloody mess. So
right.
normally when you go in the operating room and you see orthopedic surgery or you see neurosurgery, there's bits
Mm,
of bone lying on the floor, there's blood
right,
everywhere. In general
right.
surgery, they used to have their whole forearm inside somebody's abdomen. They're all kind of bad smells. I said, ye to main nahi karega. This is a big mess, yeah. I want to do something which is more technologically oriented, where
Right,
we can
right,
use lasers and other cutting edge devices. And a lot of the
right,
stuff that we do looks like something in a science fiction movie from 20 years ago. We
right.
cannot imagine as surgeons that when we are using the technology today, that technology like this actually wasn't even there when I was in medical school. All the stuff that I
Correct,
do today wasn't there in 1990. When I went to medical school, all this was in a science fiction novel like Arthur C. Clarke or Isaac Asimov. We could never believe that you would have a laser that would actually dock onto the eye and cut the
right,
cataract. And so these things weren't even invented. But just
right.
as we all were born in the era of the phone where they used to say, "Ke phone firao." You tell somebody,
Yeah,
"Aaj phone firao," they don't know what you're talking about. Are you supposed to
yeah.
turn the whole phone around? But all of us have seen the dial that you had to do
Diet. Yeah,
like this, and it went back and forth. And no one has seen that dial today. So my
yeah.
younger son who's standing here, he'll be wondering what the hell that is, because for them, this is the phone.
Yes,
This
correct.
is a phone, and
Yes,
everything else that's kind of some mechanical device. It looks like a
correct,
contraption from the 60s.
correct, correct, correct.
Yeah. So I always
So,
wanted to be in a field that was technologically driven, like ophthalmology or radiology. So I decided
right.
I'll be an ophthalmologist, and I
Okay,
worked towards that. I finished my MBBS in 1995. I finished
right.
my post graduation in 2000. I was in America. I was in Germany, which is the
Mhm.
absolute. Which Germany is at the cutting edge of technology. If you've been to Germany, you will understand that their work ethic and their technology is second to none. So a lot of the things that we use today, the lasers, the lenses, were all developed in Germany. So I went there to study. I went to America. I worked with the pioneer of cataract surgery, the people who invented the surgery. So their perspective on surgery is very different because they have seen it evolve from the butchery that we used to do 30 or 40 years ago, where we used to cut
Mhm,
stuff and there used to be blood coming out and all
mhm.
that, to the precision laser job that we do today. So
Right,
that's why
right,
I
right.
became an eye surgeon. And then from
Okay,
2000 onwards, you just come and you sit and you hope that someone comes to you. In the beginning, no one
right.
comes to you and they look at you and they say, "Well, Baba, Baba, you look very young. Do you know how to do any operations?" And things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, it
yeah,
takes time. And then you do a lot of social service initiatives so that you get
yeah.
known. And you do some good work. And one person sends you another person. And that's how medical practice evolves.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, doctor. Very well said. But a hell of a lot of work you've done, doctor, and it's brilliant to see that. It's fantastic to see that we've got a whole lot of people who've joined us and all from all over the world. We've got my mom, Bharti Kotwala from London, saying, "I'm very happy to see Dr. Cyres Mehta. Thank you so much."
Bye.
How sweet. And
So nice of you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And we've got Mr. Jagdish Upadhyay who says that watching with watching with great interest, Jagdish. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks,
And we've
Jagdish.
got Samayal Siddharth saying, "Wow, super nice talk
So,
show."
Swani,
And
you have an international viewership. Yeah. When are you going to make it to Netflix?
okay, so that's amazing, Doctor, to know. Fantastic. You've told us so much about yourself. And how you wanted, to become an eye surgeon. So now with this brings, and you also spoke a lot about technology, right? So technology keeps on changing. Yeah. So how do you manage to, like keep up with it? Like, the latest tech, every day something new is coming out. Every day something new is happening. So
Yeah.
how do you manage to,
So, when you pass
keep
out
up?
of medical school and
Right.
then when you go abroad, you're exposed to the latest technology. So, in
Right.
2000 or 2001, 2002, the way that you did it was there was an American meeting every year and there was a European meeting. So you went to the
Right.
American meeting, you went to the European meeting, and you
Yeah.
saw what was new, what was the latest thing. Then you
Right.
have to see whether the Indian market can really afford it. There's no point of having
Correct.
technology that no one can use and no one can
Right.
afford. Everyone knows
Correct.
a Rolls Royce is better than a Maruti, but we know that they only sell 10 or 20 of them because no one can afford it. So it
True.
has to be
True.
appropriate technology as well. So when the
Yeah.
technology is right, it's a right fit for the Indian market
Right.
and
Right.
gives good results, then we import the technology into India and then we
Right.
train on that. So this is the
Right.
same thing that you do year after year. So we did this in
Correct.
2000, I did this in 2005. So every few years, there's a complete paradigm shift in technology. Just how
Correct.
at one time when we had the BlackBerry, it was
Yeah.
just fantastic and everyone had a
Yes. Yes.
BlackBerry. And today
Yeah.
that would be junk.
Yeah.
Today everyone wants
And
an iPhone or a
I.
Samsung. Okay, and 5 years down the line, this will be
Right.
junk. People will look at
True.
this and they will just throw it away and they will buy
Correct.
something else.
True. True. True.
So
True.
that's how technology keeps progressing. We keep going abroad. Every year you go
Mm.
abroad, you see absolutely what is at the cutting edge. And then you see,
Right.
can I apply this to my
Yeah.
patients? Are they really
Right.
seeing better? Is it just that
Mm.
companies are paying more money and marketing
Mm.
their stuff and foisting it on us? Is it that
Right.
the new laser is actually any better or they're just charging you more? Because
Right.
eventually
Right.
the cost has to be borne by the Indian customer.
Mm.
So we have to
Mm-hmm.
get the technology which works the best and is
Right.
relatively affordable.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think very well said, doctor. That's very, very important to see whether your clients, your customers can really, it's going to be economically viable for them also. I mean, then only it's going to be workable. We've got three group wishing us best wishes. Thank you so much. So, bringing, I really would like to know. I mean, I'm coming back to the number again and again. I know 25,000 surgeries is a lot.
It
There
sounds
must
like
have
a
been.
lot, but it's really not, Swani, because the
Okay.
surgery takes 3 to 4 minutes.
Right. Right.
So if you think about it, then you measure
Mhm.
25,000 multiplied by 4. That
Right.
means I've only been working for 100,000 minutes in 20 years. That's really not very much work.
I love the way you make it sound so simple. So tell me, which has been the most complicated surgery that you have done? And
So
if you have had
complicated.
done one,
No,
how you,
basically, yeah,
yeah,
I got it. So, basically, when we enter the eye, either you enter from the front and do a cataract
yeah,
surgery, or then you correct the person's number by changing the shape of the cornea,
right,
or then you
right,
enter the eye from behind and you do a
hmm,
retinal surgery. But
right,
sometimes when the person has trauma, or a knife
okay,
penetrates the eye, or a flying metal particle from a grinder wheel, or something like this enters the eye. So it goes
right,
from the front to the back and cuts and breaks everything. So then we have to
right,
do like an extensive reconstruction with a whole team because there are
yeah,
certain parts of the surgery that I won't do, like plastic
mm,
surgery. So there'll be a plastic surgeon, there'll be me, there'll be a retinal surgeon, and all of us will have to work as a team for a few hours to restore the
right,
eye to its
right,
integrity.
right, right.
So those are the most
Wow.
complicated cases we do. We
Okay.
also have really sometimes very, very old people in their 90s, 95 years old, who come and
Okay.
then decide
Wow.
they want the cataract surgery then because they
Okay.
waited and waited and waited and they saw less and less and less and then became completely blind. And
Oh my.
being blind is as bad as being dead.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
So,
if you ask me, what are the biggest fears that people have?
hmm,
So before surgery, many people will hold my hand and say, Doctor, I hope I will not go blind. Because this is a deeply entrenched fear in human psyche, which runs parallel to death by drowning and things like that. So
right,
these are things
right.
people don't want to experience in their lifetime. No one
True.
wants to be blind if they can avoid it.
Right,
So that's
right,
where the
right.
experience and the technology makes a difference. An average cataract surgery, anyone can do, any well-trained surgeon
Right,
can do. We only need extremes of technology when you are handling extreme situations, like a very, very
yes,
hard cataract, a person who is bleeding internally due to blood thinners, they've had heart surgery, they have got high
right,
diabetes and blood pressure.
right,
So it can't be operated by normal means. That's when we use the laser system, which does the
right,
job.
right. That's Wow, that's awesome. But doctor, with this, even the expertise is required, right? Which, of course,
Yeah,
our
so
great
you
Dr.
need the
Sai.
training. The training comes with, yeah, the training comes with the technology. And
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
as Indians, we are always, we hope that we are very good surgeons because we get a
yeah.
lot of experience when we train, and we have a lot of people to uh, operate on as when we train
True.
and stuff, so that we are much better than the average foreign surgeon when we come out of medical
Yes.
school. So when I went
Right.
to Germany to study,
Hmm.
so the guy who was at the same level as me had just finished his master's degree. He says, well, how
Right.
many surgeries have you done? 30, 40, 50. So I said
Hmm.
about 2000. So they are like, but 2000 is what the professor has done, because it took him 10 years to do 2000 surgeries.
Right.
So we have a lot of exposure, and so we get better
Yeah.
at it. It's just like
Correct.
practice. If you want to be
Right.
better at running the 5,000 meters, then you have to go out and
Right.
run every day. You can't run once
Absolutely.
a week and expect to
No.
go to the Olympics after that.
True, true, true. Very
Yeah.
true. Very true, doctor. Well said, doctor. Doctor, tell me, I mean, I really want viewers to know that this is something which I know personally. Dr. Cyrus Mehta has done a whole lot of charity cases, especially for the priests and nuns, and we are really thankful to him because he never says no. And maybe if he is extremely occupied or he is busy, with his schedule, but he will see to it that he will manage it and he will get it done. So we are extremely, I really want to take this opportunity to thank you,
No,
doctor,
Swani,
for
I would say that all doctors in India do this, not only me, because medical profession is not a
yeah,
business. It's
yeah,
not like if you go to the shop and you say, I want to buy this Lux soap for 110
yeah.
rupees, and he
Mm,
says, Nahi, hum 110 rupiya chahiye, and you say, but I have only 50 rupees. And you
mm.
say, well, bad luck, then you can't buy it. So I
Right,
cannot sell sight to people like this. And
right,
we make enough money by doing our normal job. And
right,
so it's our duty, and it's our
right.
social duty to help those people that can't help themselves. And we
Correct.
know that certain people just don't have a source of income. They just can't do it. Does
Right,
it mean that they
right,
should not see, or they
right,
should not see clearly? So then it's our job to deliver that. It's our job to deliver that service. Just like in the COVID time, so many people went on the
yes,
streets and fed
right,
hundreds of thousands of poor people. They
yes,
didn't have to do that.
yes,
No one
yes.
has to do it. But you have to
No.
do it because it's a social responsibility.
Absolutely, absolutely, totally. I think that is something which is so required to give back to society. I always say that should be ingrained when children are absolutely tiny. From that age, it should be ingrained into them. I think then then it becomes a part of them. So
And
thank you.
Swani,
Yes,
a lot of times doctors get bad press as being the money grabbing demon, but it's really not so in India. And I would
no,
say that I know hundreds and thousands of surgeons, eye
right,
surgeons, cancer
right,
surgeons, general surgeons who
right,
do orthopedic
right,
surgeons who look very,
right,
very successful, or they're
right,
making tons of money and things like this because they drive a fancy car or he wears a nice tie and a suit. But at the same
right,
time, they will not turn away someone who just cannot afford it, because you just
right,
can't do that. So we all
right,
do this, and it's part of the profession.
right. That's thank you, doctor. That's really, really kind of you, and it's really nice that you uh, enlightened us with it. That brings me to ask you, doctor, uh, the subject which I really want to. This is something which you had done ages ago. You'd covered all the Parsi bars, right from
Yeah,
your Khushrobag in Kolaba to Navsari, and this was
yeah,
something which you all had done for several months, and you had done it with Lawrence and Mayo. So if you could
yeah,
just tell us more about it,
yeah. So
or
this was
experience.
roundabout. My very good friend Vivek Mendonca. You may be knowing him, Shivani. And so, he came to me once and he said, well, Cyrus, you've just started out. It was like 2002, 2003. And he said,
Right,
why don't you do like a social service initiative and help
right,
other people in the community? And
yeah,
let's go to all the different Parsi colonies. And we went to a lot of colonies which are not Parsi colonies as well, and
right,
clubs and things. And let's do an eye checkup for everyone. And let's see,
right,
because if you can catch eye disease early, like glaucoma,
right,
or like
right.
retinal disease and all, the person has a much better chance at seeing in future after surgery.
Correct,
And
correct.
treatment done early is always better than treatment done late, whether it's
Later,
eye surgery or dentistry, where your cavity
anything.
will end up with a root canal
Right,
or an extraction if you leave it in
correct,
there long enough. So that's how
Right.
we did this, and we screened thousands of people, and then
Right.
I would get calls from Navsari and Surat and places which had a population, a pocket. And, Doctor, why don't you come here and do it? So I said, well, since I've got nothing else to do anyway, I may as well go there. So I still
Right.
remember landing up in
Right.
Surat, and Surat had there's a whole Parsi mohalla, it's called. It's a
Right.
Parsi area. And
Right.
they fed me a very nice Parsi lunch there in the
Right.
Dharamshala. And I saw all those people. There was a Parsi hospital there.
Right.
And it was quite an entertaining and enlightening
Right.
experience.
Sorry. Yes. Yes. But this is what I want to tell the viewers. This is something when doctor had started out in his career. So kudos to you. Give that much of time, because it was not something which was done, overnight, or it was not something which was done the weekend. You all went to like various places, and you all reached right up to Navsari. So it
Yeah.
was quite an
So
amazing thing.
all these adventures were basically before 2005, when I was trying to, do more work
Right.
and get better known. Because there's no point of saying I'm very well trained, I have very good technology, but I have no work.
Correct.
So
Correct.
that you try to expand your reach and you try to help more and more people, and then the
Right.
word spreads like word of mouth. And if you
Correct.
do good work, then people will come to you.
Right. Doctor, the number of awards you have got, there mustn't be any shelf space. I must ask Vinifra how she manages.
Now, whenever I sent all the awards back to the clinic because no space at home. Yeah, she take all this junk and keep it in the clinic. Okay, so you know, so doctors
Yeah.
love to give each other awards.
Right.
Okay, so if you go to any conference,
Yeah.
2 hours is doctors giving each other awards. So it's not really such a big deal. And it's a way of recognizing each other and the scientific work to show that there's some credibility in your scientific work. Otherwise, it will be like, if you put this powder in warm water and you stir
Right.
it, then corona will go away. And that kind of scientific discoveries, nobody will give you an award for. But if you do scientific work which your other eye surgeons look at, and they think that it's worth remembering, or
Right.
worth passing on to the next generation of eye doctors, they can learn something for that, then they give you some kind of recognition. We call it a award. So
Right.
it's not like getting some big prize from the president of America or something. This is just like
Right.
scientific recognition most of
Uh,
the time.
yeah. Yeah. But that's amazing, doctor. Because going through your CV was quite a thing. Going through your entire profile was thank you so much, doctor, for
I'll
that.
tell you a
Well,
story. I'll tell you a
sorry.
story. In
Yeah.
2004, I
Yeah.
went to Paris to attend the European Society of Cataract Surgeons to see what's new. And
Right.
I was like an unknown guy. Okay, I'd just been working for 3.5 years. So I went to
Hmm.
the booth of the European Society, and there was a
Right.
beautiful journal, magazine of the European Society that went to each and every eye surgeon in Europe and America, called Euro Times.
Right.
So I looked
Right.
at it and all. I'd never seen it in India. So there was a very pleasant lady there. So I said, well, why is it that Euro Times doesn't have an Indian edition, considering there are more than 20,000 Indian
Right.
ophthalmologists? So she looked
Right.
straight back at me and she says, I don't know. I said, well, think about it and tell me
Right.
tomorrow. I'll be back here at the same time. So I went back at the same time the next day and she said, well, doctor, we Googled you. Would you like to release the Indian edition in India? I said, yeah,
Super.
sure thing. And that's how it was just by chance. It was just by
Yeah.
chance. There were many, many better and more eminent eye surgeons than me. But if you don't knock on the door never opens.
It's true. Very true.
Yeah.
Opportunities are meant to be taken when they come
Knock and the
across.
door will open. Seek and
Yes.
you shall find.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've got Swati Chawla saying, thanks a lot, Swani, for this talk with eminent Dr. Cyres Mehta. Wow. Well, this brings me to ask you, I'd really been wanting to ask you about, and I've seen you myself also, how passionate you are about your biking and that to a racer bike that you have, and not only that, you've actually done a graduation, in California, right? So
Yeah.
tell us something more
I'll
about
tell you
it. I
about
mean, where did you get the time, from your
it.
busy schedule of being a doctor? Tell us more about
So
it.
all these, I always wanted to have a big bike and a fancy
Right.
car, but of course, when you're poor, you don't have anything. And when I was in medical school, so the
Yeah.
best I could do was a TVS scooty.
Right.
Okay, so it's a
Right.
very tiny little scooter, and it would
Right.
barely pull my 90 kilos along. So
Right.
when I came back from America, I
Right.
decided the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself a big bike. And it took a year or two, and I bought a
Right.
second-hand bike, kind of developed the passion from there. And
Right.
this takes time. And then I met other people like me who like to ride for fun and things
Right.
like that. And then
Right.
I feel that everybody who rides a big bike or rides a bike fast must learn how to do it. The only
Right.
difference between for example, if you ask the Navy SEALs and if you ask them that why are you better than the rest of the armed forces in America, so they say there's
Right.
nothing like being tough or not tough. There's only trained and untrained.
Right.
So the difference is training.
Right.
So you can take a person and you can train him to do something, he'll be good at it.
Right.
And looking at
Right.
the number of deaths on our roads and
Right.
fatalities from people riding around and driving irresponsibly, I think that it was
Right.
well worth the time and effort I invested in training, which made me
Right.
a better rider, safer rider. And the
Mm.
California Superbike School comes to India now. And they have
Oh,
a school in Chennai every year where people
wow.
can go there, pay a negligible amount compared to the price of that motorcycle, and actually
Mm.
learn what that bike can do, how fast it
Mm.
can go, and how quickly it can stop, and how you can
Mm.
handle it in a panic situation. That was
Right.
it changed the way that you ride.
Right.
Just
But
as you wouldn't go to a surgeon who learned by himself somewhere and doesn't have any degree,
right.
but
Right.
you go to him because he's trained and he has a degree which says that he has passed a certain standard and he's been trained by people who know how to do this job. The same way we are trained by ex racers and people who have ridden motorcycles fast for a livelihood.
Right. Right. But doctor, in our city, a city like Mumbai, you can never ride a bike. Especially a
I ride
racing
a
bike.
bike.
Because yeah.
I ride a bike.
Uh,
And I've
so that
taken
would
Vivek
be
on that bike.
like in the middle of the night. You must be riding it early in
No,
the
no,
hours
not at
of
all.
the morning. There's no traffic at
Yeah,
all.
maybe when I was younger, we would go out at night and stuff like that, but not anymore. I just ride a little bit on Sunday for fun. Roads are
Right.
really crowded now, and it's
Right.
dangerous. And in the rain, you never ride.
Right. Okay. So that's great. And uh, uh, tell us a little bit about your family, doctor.
So I have a lovely family. And Vinifer, where are you? She's saying no, she's not coming. So I have a lovely wife, Vinifer. And
Yes.
Bezan, come here.
Yeah.
Say hello fast. Come here fast. Zain, come here.
How sweet.
So this is my elder one, head here. This is my elder
Hey,
one who's
hello.
going to be
So nice to
going
see
to
you.
join
Hi.
medical school now in a year.
Yeah.
And
Hi.
that's the younger one who's in the. Where is he? Yeah, here he is.
Hey,
Here's
yeah,
my.
hey. So
Yeah,
sweet.
that's Zain. He's my little darling. He's going to be there. He's a third
Yeah.
standard now in Campion. They are both.
Oh,
They're both from Campion. I was in Campion as well, as you know.
yes. Yes,
And
yes,
Campion is the
absolutely.
best school. You know that Campion is the best school.
Don't I know that? Having a husband who was a campionite, having two sons who were campionites.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Campion is the best school in Bombay. Never forget it.
So that's great. That's super, super. So, uh, what do you think? Doctor, any of your children would like to take up your profession, or
Yes, yes. My elder one is studying to give his medical entrance exam next year. That's why he's all busy and he's
oh,
studying all day. Yeah,
wow, 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 excellent. So the legacy continues. Brilliant.
I hope.
Super, 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 doctor. That's great. So just want to quickly thank you once again, doctor. It's really great to have you on my talk show. That's Tete at
Yeah.
Sumi
Well,
Spavi.
thanks so much,
And
Mani, for having me. It's always a pleasure to meet you and Vivek.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we always thank you for all the wonderful work that you do, with us. When we through Mendonça Foundation, ever since the COVID-19 lockdown has started, we've been doing a bit of bit of distribution, to the underprivileged and all. But I remember right through the lockdown, Dr. Cyrus was working, and my son had a problem in his eye, and I had to just call him, and we rushed to his clinic, and his clinic was brimming with patients. The whole street, the whole city of Mumbai was empty, but Dr. Cyrus' clinic was brimming with patients because there were so many patients who required help, and Dr. Cyrus was there to help them. So thank you so much, Doctor, for having us and coming here on my show, Tete at Suvi's Power Meet. Please quickly, if you could tell our viewers if you're available on social media, and if so,
Yes, I
please could
have
you
an
tell us?
Instagram page. I have an Instagram page, and I have a Facebook page. If you just put in Cyres Mehta, Cyres Mehta,
Right.
my Instagram page with 78,000 followers will pop up. My Facebook
Wow.
already has
Right.
8,000 plus. So we put up a lot of
Super.
updates about
Correct.
how to take care of your eyes and things like that.
Super.
And so
Super.
it's worth going there. And I have a
Right.
website,
Right.
www.cyreseye.com. So if you just
Oh,
Google Cyres Mehta, it will be there, but it's Cyrus
sure.
with a E,
Yeah.
Cyres. Yeah,
RES. Yes,
a
that's right.
unique
That's
spelling. Yeah.
right. 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 And Doctor, your clinic is in Mumbai, in Kulaba, right?
Yeah, it's behind the Taj in a very
Yes.
iconic building, which is called the Cotton World building. So those of us who
Right.
have lived in South Bombay, sometime or the other, if you lived in South Bombay, you shopped at Cotton World. So
Yes,
it's the Cotton World building.
absolutely. So for all you Mumbaikars, not only Mumbaikars, for any of you all, if you all want to consult Dr. Cyrus, he's available, and he's not only available in person at Kolaba in his clinic, he's also available online. And as he told you, he's available on all his social media handles. So please do connect with him if you have any issues or anything that you want to discuss about your eye with him. Thank you once again, Dr. Cyres Mehta. It was great having you. It's great knowing you as a friend. It's great knowing you as a doctor. And it's great knowing you as a person. And before we leave, I'd like to say thank you to all our viewers who always supported us. We've got one, again, my Bharti Kotwala says, when I come to India, I definitely would like to meet Dr. Cyrus. Yes, definitely. We will see to it that you meet him. uh, as I always say, stay safe, be positive, and if there's anything worrying any of you all, please go and communicate or talk to somebody about it. Do not keep it bottled up within you. Please, it's a request.
Mani, how do we see this video after
Right.
the talk is over?
Correct.
Where do
Please
we
tell us.
find this video?
This video.
Yeah.
Oh, it is already running live on Facebook, as well as
Okay.
it's running live on YouTube, on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
That's Dr. Sohani
So it will
Mendonca.
be there on YouTube. It will be there
On
on
YouTube
YouTube.
also to be
Oh,
there.
perfect.
It's there on Facebook also.
Perfect.
So please
Yeah.
go and have a look at it.
Wonderful. Yeah. That's great.
Anyways, so as I was saying that please, if you have anything which is worrying you, please go and share it with somebody who you trust, your inner circle, your family member, or your good friend. But do not keep it bottled up within you, because it's only going to affect your health and upset your health. In fact, if you will discuss it with someone, you never know that even that person could be facing the same problem as you, and it could help that person too. So kindly do that to yourself. And on that note, I'd like to say bye bye to everybody, and God bless. And once again,
Bye.
thank you,
Take
Cyrus.
care.
Bye.
Bye.